Hello there and welcome to Faceoff. I am Neota Egbe. Now, one issue that seemed to generate mixed reactions in Nigeria, but somewhat all unified at a certain point, is democracy. Now, in 1993, there was an election that many are still claiming to be free and fair that was annulled. Now, in 1999, there was again an election that brought in the 14 years or thereabout of democracy that we are enjoying at this point in time. Some have called it a nascent democracy. Well, again, mixed reactions there. Should it be nascent? But then the question will be, that many are asking is, what's the problem with the date? Some claim that the Democracy Day in Nigeria should be June 12. Some say is May the 29th. Today is June 12, 20 years after that election was conducted in 1993. And this is where we are today. Many have called for what should we call an immortalization of the man that was set to have won that election. This mixed grill of reactions continue as regards that issue or that day called Democracy Day. While the various schools of thought are continuing their debates, one is forced to ask again and again, what's in a date? May 29, June 12. What's in a date? Is it necessarily the date that determines the effect? Questions. Well, I have two gentlemen in the house, both of them analysts. One's a legal practitioner, the other one he's a mixed grill, but at the end of the day, he's a political scientist and a social analyst. Thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Sam Olisah.
Thank you.
And on this other side, Mr. Onyekachi Ubani. Thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you, Nady.
Gentlemen, question. What's in a date? Do we need a date to have true democracy or to see the benefits of democracy? You have 10 seconds, 20 seconds each to give your opening statement, and I begin with you.
Yeah, what is in a date? There is something in a date, especially if that date is described as a watershed. I listened to President Jonathan describe June 12 as a watershed in the annals of our history, and such a date cannot be forgotten. And if you are building a house and you go and build your house not on a foundation, then you are in a problem. There must be a foundation. This democracy, in quote, that we're enjoying today, there was a foundation. Somebody laid that foundation, and there was a date. That foundation was laid.
Thank you.
Yeah, what is in the date? June 12 has come and gone, whether we like it or not. It is history, and you are either on the good side of history or bad side of it. But having said that, what is in the date? Whether it is May 29 or June 12, what Nigerians need is good governance. We need food on the table. We need economic growth, economic development. We need employment for the youth. It doesn't really matter. What we want is good democracy, not the date.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue with our conversation. And our break, we'll listen to the president talk about June 12 and some other things, and also the governor of Ogun State, Bukola, was also talking about June 12. We'll be back shortly. Don't go away.
There's no way that the history of Nigeria will be written without a prominent mention for Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. Indeed, he laid his life for all that we call democracy today. I can safely say, without any sense of contradiction, that MKO represents the best in democracy. But for MKO, probably we will not have had, or indeed we will not have had this democracy that we are having now. So in his memory, every June 12th, we will now remember that day, on June 12, 1993, that somebody laid down his life for all of us to now build on.
Today is also a unique day. The date is June 12, a date that has changed the political history of this country in one way or the other. In some parts of the country, the state governments have really declared public holidays to mark today. But at the center, it has not been formally recognized as a public holiday. But we appreciate what happened on this date, and it has been inaugurated on June 12. So I think it's a unique day, and I believe it will be a part biography.
Those are the governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibukula Amosu, and the president, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, speaking about June 12th. Okay, now we're back here, and I have my guests in the studio. You too can be a part of the conversation. Remember, send your mails to faceoff@channelstv.com or use our Twitter handles at Faceoff Today or at Neota Egbe. What's in a date? Democracy Day. So, gentlemen, you give your opening statement first, so you can ask the first question.
Yes, let me ask you. We celebrate 1st of October every year as our Independence Day. Why do you think we do that? If there is nothing in the date, of course, you hear the president, you hear the governor of Ogun State and all that, mentioning that that date is very unique and all that. And I think you wouldn't like to be like Esau. He said, what is in the birthright? Now, why do we celebrate 1st of October? And you are telling me that there is nothing.
Yes. Maybe I'll answer that straight away.
Yeah.
I want you and the viewers, I don't want you to get me wrong. I'm not against June 12th. I'm not against what happened that day. As a matter of fact, Ekpetedo declaration is similar to Montgomery declaration. But what I'm saying is that we don't just start crying and linking our wounds. Let's move ahead. June 12th is important, very, very important. October 1st is the Independence Day. We got our independence from the British. It's important. May 29, where the gladiators now decided, we are gladiators. We want to start democracy. We willingly handed over power. It's as very important. But what I'm saying in essence is that the dates are not important, are not as important as the welfare of Nigerians. We don't need to be fighting on date. What today, as of today, 80% of Nigerians are living below poverty line. We don't have good governance. As of today, about 75% of Nigerians are engaged in agriculture and services, and they are below poverty line. What we need to do is to put the date aside. We forge ahead. Let's go ahead, get good governance. I'm so happy. We have some of the governors that are really well, like Lagos State. They are doing very well to the extent that even the voices from across the Nigeria are saying that if we have this as a precedent, we go in places. Look at USSR. They didn't emphasize Gorbachev was part of the USSR, but God used it to dismantle USSR. One day, I'm happy a president of Nigeria is now recognizing June 12th. He says it's an important day, it's a watershed. One day, we get there. But we don't start dwelling on it. Let every government, whether state or federal, let's face the welfare of Nigerians. Let's forge ahead. Do you know how many graduates have graduated which have no job? About 1.5 million apply for JAMB. The government are only guaranteeing 400,000. Let everybody, let us be on deck, both the government, the private sector, yourself, myself. Let us do something. Let's continue to do it. One day, June 12th will become a reality. But we should not use it as a real thing we'll be fighting on. That is my position.
Yeah, I think we don't.
And let me ask you a question.
No. Let me respond to your propositions and all that. That what is in the date where you mentioned the issue of unemployment. We are muzzling up issues. We are mixing them up. The foundation of, as I said, of a house must be properly laid before you begin to put up structure. Now, as far as this particular date, there is an intention, there is a motive. There is even action to kill that date and say, forget about the date. It's of no consequence. And then the issues you are raising now of unemployment and all that, I cannot in any way, agree with you. Because we must put the first thing right. The first step is that recognize that there was an injustice of a particular election, that a man won, and majority of Nigerians came and voted, irrespective of tribe and tongue, irrespective of religion, and somebody sat down there and another election. Let me finish. You must not keep on building up injustice. Let me finish. Now you must allow me. Allowed you. He said, allowed you. Yeah. What I'm saying is that you cannot keep on heaping up injustice on a country and allow that country remains healthy. And that's why Nigeria is not healthy today. So we must start to address this issue of injustices all over the place. And I'm saying June 12th is a day that Nigerians, irrespective of their tribe, irrespective of their tongue, religion, came out and said, we want Abiola. to eradicate poverty for us. We want Abiola because he's a man we have found to be competent, who will rule us and drive away poverty. And as long as that election was annulled up to this point in time, Nigeria has never known peace. And so the moment we don't atone for that sin and say the right thing and do the right thing, Nigeria may never know peace. So I'm saying, forget about this your unemployment you're talking about now. That unemployment came because there was a man that would have addressed it. This issue of poverty came because there was a man that would have addressed it. And you never allowed that man to address it. And as long as you don't recognize there was a man that intended to address that situation and say, let's forget it, you may not have all those issues addressed.
Now, let me tell you, in as much as I recognize Abiola as somebody who is politically vast, economically vast, he's a human being. Only God can address the entirety of the problem of mankind. So I'm not saying June 12th is not important. But what I'm saying in essence, it has come, it has gone. And nobody is going to bury the truth. The truth is there. You are either on the right side of history or you are on the wrong side. Everyone knows this. Those that wanted to kill June 12th, they know they are only on today. They know that they are on the wrong side of history. I, as a person, I voted on June 12th. I came out to fight for June 12th. I was in the crowd when bullets were running out. I was only lucky to be alive. But what I'm saying is that now, don't let us carry that as a fundamental problem. What you and I should be thinking is how we can better the welfare of Nigeria.
Unfortunately, what he's saying about the foundation. He's talking about the foundation. Now, June 12th is the foundation of the democracy we enjoy today.
June 12th is there's